Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online challenge. We're back with Karn Eldrazi Ramp on the draw for game one. Taking another risky hand here, looking for either a green source or a temple. So roughly, I guess green source, temple, or talisman. It's roughly 17 hits off the top here and 2 draws to hit it. There's our forest, so we'll go forest, sprawl for red, and pass, and pass. There's an argument of maybe going for green instead. There's Corey's Steelcutter, 0, a monk. So putting a body on board like sowing Mycospawn and then grabbing a temple seems like the right choice. Bobble fetch, target me. Or crack, rather. Bobble trigger, draw a card, and draw. So Ugin Lab, imprint Ugin. Cast Sowing Mycospawn as a blocker. And then fetch for a Eldrazi Temple. This way we can K command for 0. Alright, let's hold up the ability to respond. EI triggers Prowess. I mean, if they present a trade, we could fake them into casting something like Mutagenic Growth. Something to consider. There's DRC, which triggers Corey's Steelcutter. No Delirium yet. Keywords, of course. There's Bobble, triggering. DRC. Bobble target me. And combat. Go to blocks. I'll block a monk. Do we want to block a monk? This is the question, right? It's like twofold. A, do I want to command and simply get rid of a monk token? B, do I want to block? I think I will, in fact, block. Let's see if they have anything. There it is. This is what I was hoping for. So trigger, trigger, trigger. Mutagenic growth. This does mean that I'm giving them my sowing Mycospawn is the question. I guess I could have blocked here. That resolves. You have priority again. I'll K command now. So scry draw exile to mitigate 6 damage does seem reasonable. Until we mitigate 10, we just need to give ourselves time. So I'll take it. Finding a Karn. Karn is interesting. Could grab EE. The second Karn. Not necessarily what I wanted to see, I'll be honest. We could Stomping Ground, Shock, Utopia Sprawl. It is mana neutral if you do it that way. Not ideal, though. Stomping Ground, Shock, Utopia Sprawl. I'm going to say for blue, green, blue, Rumble. I guess we can use the red, because not like we're casting a, whatchamacallit, Chrysalis here. So I use, or K return, so I use red. Hold blue in case we find a Null Drifter. We do not. We've already played our land for a turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Could still go Talisman. Hold the Windswept Teeth. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7. We'd mean not using the spawn though. Play Karn the Great Creator. We can't EE here, but what I can do is I can instead grab a Tormod's Crypt and shrink the DRC. Alright, so at the very least we'll be able to shrink the DRC. They also now have to make a determination of whether or not they need to go for Karn or not. So Karn might soak up at least 3 damage. Someone's at my door and my partner's like, do I open it? Like, yes, of course you open it. But first put on pants. Alright. Well, there's a Slick Shot Show Off. How much damage are we looking at is the question, right? They have 4 cards in hand. Can they burst damage me out? I mean, we'll know very quickly what they think they can do based on if they attack me directly or attack Karn, right? The question then remains, if they attack me directly, do we block with the spawn to mitigate damage from the monk token? Probably. Alright, sorry about that. I'd answer a question. So there's Lava Dart. Lava Dart target me, so it looks like they are going for the kill. Or at least attempting to. I'm not sure if they can get there, though. I'm a bit worried about this Lava Dart, however. Again, we can... Tormod's Crypt. Lava Dart target spawn. And not much I can do there. So spawn is out. That was with flashback. So at the very least, 5, 6, 11. So we're not dead. So I don't think there's another lava dart in there. Mutagenic growth. Well, that changes things. I think we're dead now because that adds 2, 3, 4, 6 damage. Yeah? Yes. So 6, 10, 17. Yeah, this is my problem that I have with this deck. It can just put in so much burst damage out of nowhere, right? Like, we have a decent position to shrink the DRC, but all of a sudden they can just have all the answers to all their problems. Of course, if Karn in this instance was just Trinisphere, then that makes our lives significantly easier. This member has not been performing well in this matchup. So I don't think I'm going to bring Dismember in anymore. Got the gemstone since we don't need it. Chalice does not seem to be performing well when brought in. So I think we just run it like this. On the play for game 2. I'll keep it. A bit slower than I'd like, but we can make it work, especially if we can get Ugin on board. But then again, Ugin might not be enough. I mean, we've seen it before. Utopia Sprawl for red or for blue. I think I go blue here in case we rumble over return. At the same time, we can always just cast Drifter, ideally. Let's go red and pass. If we really need blue, we can always Myco spawn for that color. Bobble self. Could be holding up consigned memory here. There's return, so glad we went red. I will rumble. Emrakul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Emrakul is attempting offer here. Worldbreaker is also nice. I'll go with Emrakul. 5, 9, 10. I'll imprint Ugin or Drifter. I'm going to imprint Ugin here. And then pass. And hold. Yeah, having to play around consign is a bit awkward in these moments. Preordain. So they're either still holding up consign or they're looking for threats. Feels like they're holding up consign. Draw. A second sowing Myco spawn. Do you consign the body or the search? If you're going to consign something, probably right to consign the search. Steam Vent Shock. And sure enough, that's what they do. Alright, we'll pass and pass. Once more. We're 3 short of the Emrakul. I mean, the fact that they're on turn 3 with nothing on board is reassuring, mind you, but not by much. 2 for a slick shot. Can you kill me? It's possible. Mutagenic growth. The 5. No blocks. Down to 12. Okay. I feel like they probably should have held the mutagenic growth. Stomping grounds. Let's see here. I mean, realistically speaking, what I probably should do yeah, we should just cast Sowing Mycospawn here. See if the trigger resolves. Another consign. The body resolves. We'll put a Stomping Ground into play tapped. Go to combat. Swinging for 3 down to 8. We need a Soul Land for Emrakul. The idea now is next turn I can sweep the Slick Shot Show off board unless they have a mutagenic growth or a blocker. Or not a blocker, or a combat trick, right? To grow it. Bolt to 9. Theoretical 6. Are we dead? All they'd need is a mutagenic growth or a lava dart. We are not. Misty Rain. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we could, for all intent and purpose, play Emrakul. I will instead play K-Return. I mean, if they have another consign, then I think we're okay with that, right? I'm gonna go combat. Push you down to 2. This will push me down to 5, however. 5, 6, 7, or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We'll fetch Forest. You have a third consign. It'd be unlikely, but not impossible. Ah, shit. Sure enough, there it is. So now he died to mutagenic growth. So maybe going the K-Return was right. That way we could have swept the Slick Shot off board. And then if needed, fetch Shock down to 3. Ugh, that's not comfortable either though. I have to hope that they draw into a dud. They draw a card. So they clearly didn't draw what they wanted the first time. Did they draw what they wanted the second time? A bolt gets me. Lava dart gets me. A land does not. Fetching. Trying to put a lava dart into yard. Would that be enough? No, it'd still be shy of 1. Swift Spear into yard. Bobble. So they'll hit me for 3. Bobble targets self. They could draw into Lava Dart, but opponent scoops it up, so they draw into nothing. Okay, we got there. Yeah, having all 3 consigns at the ready. Jesus. Okay. Bring back in the gemstone. And I think we'll just cut the Ghost Quarter at that point. It's not needed in this matchup. Let's run it back. Maybe there is an argument for Soulless Jailer in this matchup. It might be a bit unintuitive as to why, but it would stop... Is this hand too slow? It feels like it at a glance, doesn't it? Especially on the draw. Because, yeah, we can go turn 1, Windstep Teeth, Forest for Utopia Sprawl for red. But then what makes this hand good in this matchup? A K return. Okay, 3 hits. EE. Okay, 4 hits. That's about it. I'll keep this one. You want Forest, Sprawl red. Maybe actually Sprawl blue. Dump the Windswept Teeth then. Yeah, I'll do it like this. Do you want an Ugin Lab? Or do you want to hold up Temple so we can get Sire on board? I think maybe getting Sire on board is right. Opponent does go down to 4, which is really good for us. Shock Steam Vents for Swift Spear. Bobble. Bobble me. Misty. So in that case, we can go Utopia Sprawl for red then. And pass. And pass. Bolt, the 15. Down to 13, draw. Gemstone. Malevolent Rumble. We don't have anything that we can cast with red. So yeah, rumbling here first makes sense. There's Trinisphere. Ugin Lab. Imprint Sire. Cast Trinisphere. Pass. And pass. So now they, for all intent purpose, shouldn't be able to cast anything for at least 2 turns. If they have no other lands, then it'll take even longer. We should be able to stabilize before then. No, no, friend. That's not how Trinisphere works. Try as you might, Trinisphere says no. Draw. Sanctum. I'm going to go with a Misty Rainforest and set up for a Hedge Maze. And put a pause on end step. We'll take 1. Fetch with the Misty Rainforest. I need a blocker, is what I need. Surveil. K command will work too. Eldrazi Temple. Question becomes, do we want to get rid of the Swift Spear or just ramp and scry draw? Let's just ramp scry draw here. We can always block if needed. Actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'll actually just hold up green red for 3. In case we find a writhing chrysalis. There's a Cyrus 7 Deaths, a Rumble. Top Rumble. I guess it actually doesn't matter if I'm going to play the Soin Mycospawn, does it? Yeah, I guess it doesn't. Never mind. There's a Soin Mycospawn. We'll grab Temple and pass. This way next turn we can play Cyrus 7 Deaths. That's tucked underneath the lab, and at that point I think we just win. Steam Vents tapped, not like they can play anything. And draw. Return Sire to hand. Play Sanctum. And opponent scoops it up. We'll take the win. I mean, yeah, Trinisphere is just a really good card in this matchup. Wonder if maybe we should start considering going up to 4. I mean, 3 is a good number, don't get me wrong. But maybe we do go up to 4. We'll see. Well, that is round 1. We'll be back for round 2. Alright, and we're back for round 2 on the play for game 1. This hand kind of sucks, doesn't it? What makes this hand better is the question. Does anything make it better? Utopia Sprawl would be 1 turn slow, so the casting window is a bit rough, but, I mean, it's not like we have a turn to play. Malevolent Rumble would be okay, a Talisman would be okay, a Soul Land, specifically a Temple, would be good. I think we mulligan this. I'll keep this. Do we pitch the gemstone and pitch the command? I think we pitch the command here. And we hope to draw into a soul land. We have 7 hits. Malevolent Rumble puts us up to 10. So we have some good hits here. We'll pass. Scouting Tarn. Steam Vents, seeming like it's probably going to be Prowess again if I had to bet. Blue for Preordain. Still could be Prowess and just looking to set up. Could have a handful of action but no creatures. Could also be holding a double cast for next turn, of course. 0 top, 2 bottom, and draw. They could bobble here, but again, I'd imagine they want to hold that for Corey's Steelcutter. Draw. Ugin. In that case, I'll play the Forest and pass. What up K Command? I mean, realistically speaking, I probably want to hold K Command just for 1 more turn even after this, unless we have to use it. Meticulous Archive. Could be the Jeskai variant. Which I do think is stronger, just because it does have oh no, this is Jeskai Ascendancy. Okay, there's Shadow Spear. Well, that answers that question. We're playing against Ascendancy. I'd love to see a Karn then. It's asking you shall receive, apparently. Next question, do we K Command? I think I'll hold. See if we can eat something. I'm trying to think of what we would even eat. A Tameo, I suppose. Can't hit Emery, unfortunately. There's Corey's Steel Cutter. There's Bobble to trigger Corey. Yes. So they have a 2/2. Go to combat. Let's just get this out of the way. Rampant Exile. And done. And pass. I'd like a land if possible. I take a peek at the top. Bobble trigger, draw a card, draw a card. We can play Sowing Mycospawn as a blocker and play Karn. So let's do that. Ugin Lab, Imprint, Tuck, Emrakul. Cast Karn the Great Creator. Minus Karn the Great Creator. We're gonna go Chalice for 0. And pass. And pass. 2, 4, 6, or 1 short of Drifter, 2 short of Ugin. They do have a portable hole for Chalice. That's fine. We can EE, which will clear Shadow Spear and portable hole, and give us back Chalice for 0. Corey's Steel Cutter will trigger, but we have a blocker in the way of Sowing Mycospawn. Unless they have a way to remove it. If they do, then both Sowing Mycospawn and Karn are down, which is a problem. Thundering Falls. We draw into a lab, we can Ugin, target the portable hole, get back Chalice. That would be another solution. Paying cost. Soul Guide Lantern. Soul Guide Lantern's fine. They'll take the K command from our yard. When they attack, we block. Draw. So Stomping Ground allows us to play Drifter and draw 2. The main concern here is if we go Karn and let's say grab an Engineered Explosives, then they could eventually get Corey's Steel Cutter to trigger again and attack down Karn. Alternatively, we could always go Soulish Jailer, which equally does stop the loop. Well, it's better for us to have Chalice on board, I think. 2, 4, 6, so we'll go Stomping Ground, Shock, and cast Null Drifter. Ideally we draw into a land, so we can cast Ugin next turn. There's our land, there's another Karn. I'll plus Karn on Opal, and pass. So you get through a Null Drifter and deal Karn 4 damage. And pass. Next turn we can Ugin, getting Chalice back. There's Emery. We can deal with Emery. and draw. K command. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Interesting. And opponent scoops it up. Yeah, I mean, we could have K commanded. The alternative is also I 0 Ugin. So we A get Chalice, 0 Ugin, and then minus Karn for Soulless Jailer, Cash Jailer trigger, exile Emery. So this is Jeskai Ascendancy. Win for game 1. So Dismember, Trinisphere in, Jailer in. Don't think we need Consign though. K returns out. Karn stays in. Bog stays in. So cut Emrakul. Cut Sire. Maybe keep the Emrakul. Cut second Sire. And then cut to Chrysalis. Yeah, that seems right. And run it back like this. They do play Tamiyo, so we need to clear 3 toughness, which K-Return does not do. I will keep... We do need to draw into a land, however. You have 2 draws to do so. Ideally, a lab would be fantastic, because then we can go Trinisphere. Preordain. Okay. So no Tamiyo that we need to dismember off the bat. Good. 0 top, 2 bottom, and draw. And draw. Okay, ask and we shall receive. So in that case, we will play the Windswept Teeth, and I'll pass. This allows me the opportunity to grab a Hedge Maze if we don't need to cast Dismember. Scouting Tarn, fetch. Steam Vents, shock. Corey's Steel Cutter. And then passing to end step. Unless they have a force, this Trinisphere will resolve. Hedge Maze. Hedge Maze trigger. Forest on top. Ugin Lab. Imprint Drifter. Cast Trinisphere and pass. Keep in mind, this does mean our Dismembers now cost 3 and 4 life, which does kind of suck. But it means that this Corey Steel Cutter is going to be much harder to trigger for them. And draw. Sowing Mycospawn. I can do one of 2 things here. I can Rumble, try and find a land, or I can Sowing Mycospawn as a blocker. If I Rumble, we still have the 3 available for this member, which I think is correct. Actually, no, we don't, do we? I'd have to do this. Now, this is a bit complex. I'd like to hold the Mycospawn, so we're going to go Rumble. I will go with... Let's go Stomping Grounds. I guess we don't need red, do we? But it's always good to have other colors in case we're an EE. So I'll go Stomping Grounds. And at that point, we pass. So we will be able to kick a Mycospawn next turn, which is relevant. Scouting Tarn fetch. Thundering Falls tapped. Amber and Yard. Thinking about maybe in that case we might want to Bajuka Bog out the Amber. There's also a world where we just Malevolent Rumble again. But I think it is right to kick because then they truly can't cast anything. Now, of course, they could have a consign to memory, so let's find out. And opponent concedes, we'll take the win. Alright, solid win against Jeskai Ascendancy. We'll be back for round 3. Alright, and we're back for round 3 on the play for game 1. And this does, I believe, look like a mirror match. It is Micro, who I believe is on Gruul Eldrazi Ramp. So, we are on the play. The only issue that I have with this hand is that we have no real interaction for the mirror, if that is the case. Right? We do have temples. If we draw into a lab or another temple, we can command for 2. That's 7 hits off the top. Otherwise, we do have Malevolent Rumbles. That's 10. I'll keep it for that reason alone. Alright. Yeah, so I think we can make this work. I mean, if we don't find anything of value, I guess the next thing we could always find is a Utopia Sprawl. It'll allow us to move up to 5, 6. So then we could draw into something Myco Spawn on 3. Yeah, okay. So we have plays. We definitely have a number of lines available to us. The only thing is, obviously, if they have an ideal hand, then we're going to be in a bit of trouble, at least for game 1. But it does appear that might be away from keyboard, so we'll be back for round 3 in just a few short moments. Alright, and we're back. Opponent kept their opening 7 and revealed Devour. We'll go Temple to keep our options open, and pass, and pass. Let's confirm that they still are on Gruul Eldrazi Ramp. Yep, looking like it. Let's see if they have a faster hand. Stomping Ground's tapped. Looks rather slow at a glance. There's the Utopia Sprawl we are looking for. So we'll go Talisman of Impulse into Utopia Sprawl. I'll stick with red since we do have the Misty Rainforest. And pass. There's an Ugin Lab. Imprint. Malevolent Rumble. Do they grab the Forest or the Sire is the question. They choose Forest. Our own Malevolent Rumble. So in that case, I will Rumble. There's Writhing Chrysalis. So I'll go... Do we go Writhing Chrysalis is the question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, we go either Writhing Chryst or Cavernous Souls. I'll go Writhing Chryst here. So we could go X equals 1. Okay, so yes, we'll Misty Rainforest, fetch. For a Breeding Pool Shock. Just so we do have access to an evoked Null Drifter if needed. And then I'm going to Scry Draw Exile. There's a K return, not what we were looking for admittedly, but we'll take it. And pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One land off of Ugin. But we have a ton of good hits off the top now. Worst comes to worst, we'll Jukabog. They currently have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're short on Emrakul. There's the Soin Mega Spawn, no kick. Do they go for a Ghost Quarter? I'm not sure it's right at this point. I have enough mana. There's an Eldrazi Temple. 2, I guess they can K-Command. If they do K-Command, my spawn will just grow the Writhing Chris, so not the biggest deal. I'll still draw a card off of it. And pass. I mean, we have a clock on board. Temple, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I want to do then is attack with Writhing Chris. Jukabog, target you, and pass, hold up the K return. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it would have been nice if we had been able to cast the Ugin, admittedly. Do you have another, looks like a World Breaker here. Either that or a Sire, not a Sire, okay, so it is a World Breaker. Go after the Temple. A bit unfortunate, but not the end of the world. I mean, there is a world where we want a K return, but I think we'll just hold. Chrysalis is a bit small to deal with the Breaker, but we do have another Sowing Mycospawn, which is fantastic. I mean, I can get rid of a Temple. I can get rid of 3 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so the question becomes, do I go for a Ghost Quarter to knock them down from 5 to 4 mana? I think I do. If I draw into a land, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we can play the Ugin. We'll go Ghost Quarter. This also means that they can't, for example, play K-Command. Get rid of the Temple, and pass. That should be the last forest as well. And pass. They have another Mycospawn. They have Malevolent Rumble. Probably grabs an Ugin Lab, I'd imagine. Writhing Chrysalis instead. Because they had the Temple in hand. I see. We'll go Writhing Chrysalis, the ramp. We do have the K return to sweep, thankfully. Null Drifter. Well, don't mind if I do. I'll cast Null Drifter. Trigger. Draw 2. Will you sacrifice your spawns is the question. Unfortunately, I can't get rid of their Chrysalis. Looks like they will. So in that case, I don't even need to K return, do I? Like, all I'd do is just get rid of both our Mycospawns, but doesn't really feel all too fruitful. I'll say no. Yeah, is there a reason for me to sweep the Mycospawn? Not really. Should I play the Ugin Lab? I mean, if they were to kick another Mycospawn, then yeah, we'll probably want to have this lab on board. We can tuck the Ugin. Is there a benefit to doing so, though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, yeah. So, I mean, we would be able to play an Emrakul. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think there is necessarily. I'm going to say no. And then pass. No attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're short on their Emrakul, however. There's an Ancient Stirring, search. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One short of a kicked Mycospawn unless they have a land. If we find ourselves with another land off top, we can rumble first. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. What does Stirrings find? Clear seems to be a difficult choice regardless of what it is. To be honest, even if we don't see another land, I'm tempted just to rumble first. Because there are better casts right now than Ugin. The game is pretty locked up. However, there's the Chrysalis, some more ramping. The likely attack of the Chrysalis, they can pump it up to 7 damage, make it a 5 or 7/8. I mean, I guess they could go one more to a 8/9. And this forces you to spend the spawns if you really want, right? Then they decided to kill the Null Drifter, okay? Draw. There's a lab. I'll start with a Malevolent Rumble. Another Null Drifter, Sanctum. Sanctum can trigger, which is nice. We could also go for our own Writhing Chris. Let's confirm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 minus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, like I said, 8 minus 2 would be 6. We could not cast Ugin. Sanctum, I think, is the better choice here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That way we could grab Emrakul, for example. No target, since they don't have a Utopia Sprawl. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, 12. I will grab the Emrakul. I'd like to break up the parity here just a bit. Draw. And there's a Soin Mycospawn, which is nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're too short of that Emrakul, so they have a soul land, they have it. I'm not sure if that necessarily benefits them in a meaningful way right away. Because we'll have our own. Okay. Kicked Mycospawn, they have their own Ugin. But they're behind. Now they can throw some creatures at us. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And they have to throw their board towards Ugin. Because if they don't, they risk simply losing. I mean, Ugin's going to take a hit regardless. Might as well get as many pieces off board as possible. Ugin up to 9. Stomping Grounds tapped. I mean, here's a problem though. They've put themselves in a position now where I can just attack down their Ugin. You've already set up a Jukabog. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13, 15. So I could go Sowing Mycospawn, but that'll only be a -2. Interesting. Yes, I will 0. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So yeah, we'll Ugin. No imprint. One, two. No targets. And that will resolve. No trigger. Emrakul on board. And I'll draw. Go to combat. I'll attack at Ugin. Ugin down to 3. Our turn, comrade. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, well then. We've been playing around Emrakul, and for good reason. So we should just be able to close it out here, because we'll play Ugin Lab. Imprint. So trigger on the stack. Imprint and Emrakul. And the reason why this is relevant is now I can go to combat, attack in with Worldbreaker, and block with Emrakul. Now what I can do from here is I can activate Worldbreaker's ability. I'm going to generate 3 colorless. And here's where the fun begins. I'm going to generate red. I guess I should also generate colorless here and here. Alright, time for fun times. So let's go red. 1, 2, hold up priority, sacrifice Ugin Lab. In response, I'm then going to, hi, I see the notification, Moto. I don't care about the notification. I want to activate this again. 2 green. Sacrifice the temple. Hold up priority. Hold up priority. And sacrifice the stomping ground. So now we've triggered Worldbreaker 3 times, and we can pass. And pass. Have fun, opponent. And that should be lethal on board. 6, 7. There's a World Breaker. Okay. No targets. Gets rid of the temple. That's fine. Commercial district. Well, they're not quote-unquote out of it yet, but they're not exactly in it either. Another Emrakul. Well, I will draw with Ugin. Utopia Sprawl. Let's see here. Windswept Teeth. Fetch. For a forest. Sprawl. For red. Ugin, no targets. Mycospawn kick. And we'll go with an Eldrazi Temple. No exile. And I'll attack with Emrakul at you. Down to 5, lethal is on board. Yeah, I don't foresee a way out of this one. Ugin gains 3's life up to 8. Sure. And Bone scoops it up. Alright. In for game 1, on to game 2. Bringing Consign to memory. And cut the K return. Let's run it back. Yeah, nothing's more dangerous than having a World Breaker on the field or in the yard when your opponent takes control of your turn. Just being able to sacrifice 2, 3, 4 lands is a bit of a problem. I will say, I think they were a bit aggressive attacking in the way they did to Ugin. I will keep this. We draw into a soul land, specifically allows us to turn to Karn. There's Sire. Do they have a talisman? They do. Into a Stirrings. So we'll go Verdant Catacombs, Fetch. I'm going to say Breeding Pool, Shock, Utopia Sprawl for red. That way I have access to blue, red, and green. Only 3 cards in hand, 4 of the Writhing Chris. And draw. There's an Emrakul, not what I wanted to see. Breeding Pool, Shock. Utopia Sprawl for red. And pass. And pass. There's the Writhing Chris. And draw. There's a talisman. So I'll play Talisman of Impulse. Of course, now the question becomes, do they have a whatchamacallit, a kicked Mycospawn? If they do, we're in trouble. Oof. It's looking like it. Malevolent Rumble. Okay, maybe not. There's a Mycospawn, which they will take. The question then becomes, do they play Ghost Quarter? If they do, then we're in a bit of a pickle. If they don't, we might be able to make this work. Chooses Slain Mycospawn as expected. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Eesh. Well, methinks I'm dead. Because, yeah, I don't foresee much in the way of getting out of this. Yeah, unfortunate. 6. kick the breeding pool. 2 left. I have a 5/6 on board. I'm down to 12. I mean, even if we were to get Karn on board, then what? Yeah, unfortunate. You're just a little bit slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're short of casting the Sire. Might as well try and regain a time advantage. That's 6, 11, 14. So they'll have to sacrifice the spawns. I'll force them to do so. But that is, in fact, the game. Yeah, overall, just solid hand on the play there. If we drawn into a lab, we may have been able to make it work, but unfortunately, we whiffed. Their hand was just a little bit too fast. And that will be 12. All right. Oh, on to game 3. No changes to be made. Let's run it back. On the play for game 3, I will keep. So we're going to tuck the Ugin, play the Talisman. That way we can theoretically, or not theoretically, that way we can, at the very least, evoke with Null Drifter to dig a bit deeper, ideally finding a land and sowing Myco Spawn. That would be ideal. That way on turn 3 we can kick. Otherwise, actually just another temple would allow us to get to World Break on 3 as well. So we have some good options here. And having the Talisman of Curiosity does allow us to feign for a consign. Rumble. Rumble is appealing. Unfortunate, but this does get us what we need for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so we need a land at the very least. So we'll go Ugin Lab. And I will play the Eldrazi Temple. And then pass. I mean, you can K-Command X0 here to get rid of the spawn if you really need. But we will World Breaker next turn. If we draw into a land, that would be ideal. That way I don't have to imprint a Null Drifter and can cast it the following turn. 3 for a K-Command, X equals 1. They'll get rid of my spawn, but that won't matter. Yep. And looks like there's scry drawing instead of ramping. That is great news for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get rid of the temp. And pass. If we draw into nothing of value, we can evoke the Null Drifter. Opponent's passing. Breeding pool. Fortunately, it doesn't allow us to do much here. So I will evoke the Null Drifter to draw 2. And there's KGC. Evoke. I will Let's see, I think just set up the breeding pool tapped. And attack with World Break. And pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not getting to Ugin yet. It's only 3 mana. They could, of course, Stone Rain here, but it looks like they're going to go Malevolent Rumble instead. We'll pass in full, whiffs on the Stone Rain. Does find a lab, however. They go for the lab or a fetch. I imagine the lab. Chooses lab, as expected. They do have a blocker, mind you. But Jukabog, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so we can Windswept Teeth. Windswept Teeth fetch. Stomping Grounds shock. Cast Writhing Chrysalis. Cast Karn the Great Creator. Minus Karn the Great Creator. Grab Liquid Metal Coating. Sack spawns the trigger Chrysalis. Go to combat. Down to 8. Lethal's now on board. Wait for them to play the Ugin Lab. Otherwise, this should be a GG's. Unless they put a body on board. But even then, funny enough, I can turn Karn into a 4/4. And that should be 8. So they're going to need 2 blockers. Ugin Lab trigger, target Ugin Lab. Pass in full. Taps it for 1. We're an opponent. What say you? Do you have an out to the current board state? Looks like a not a Soulmag spawn, but a Writhing Chrysalis. Yep, there's Writhing Chrysalis. And draw, K command, so we should just win here. Make spawns, exile Chrysalis. And we can EE for 0 as well. GG's. Minus KGC. Yes. For engineered explosives. Cast EE for 0. Activate engineered explosives. Go to combat. Let's see if you have a K command for 1. You do. I'll give you a turn. We'll Bajuka Bog then. Go to combat. Attack in. And then Bajuka Bog, target you. Pass. Local Metal Coating, target Stomping Grounds, pass. And GG's. Alright, solid match. Oh, they're still playing it out. There's Emrakul. Looks like a Sowing Myco spawn. Short one of the kick. There's Sowing Myco. We'll pause on end step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we'd been able to play Ugin as well. But yeah, beyond that, unless they had another blocker, we just make Karn into a 4/4. Alright, good stuff. Solid win. We'll be back for round 4. Alright, and we're back for round 4 on the play for game 1. I will keep. Unfortunately, no 7-drop, but that's okay. We draw into one, we have a turn 2 Karn or a K Command X2. At worst, we have a Kozilek's return as well. Could go red, could go blue. Gonna go red though and pass. Just make sure we can cast this return if needed. Plays a forest. Ancient Stirrings. Alright, some flavor of Eldrazi. Could be Brood Scale. Talisman. So, gonna be Eldrazi mid then, methinks. But methinks the game's over now. Turn 2 Karn will get us there. Liquid Metal Coating. And pass. And pass. And if your cast window would suggest that Stirrings was your best option. Eroding Catacombs. Let's see then. I think I'm just going to cast a Liquid Metal. Liquid Metal target Temple. Do you have a K command? Let's phase change. X equals 1. Plus on Temple. Fetch Averting Catacombs for a Breeding Pool Shock. K return and pass. And pass. And that should close things out, I think. Short of another Soul Land, they should have no castables. And Bone scoops it up. Alright. Yeah, so I think this is Eldrazi mid-range. Win for game 1. So I do want Dismember in. I want Consign in. I think I still want the returns as well. Maybe not, though. Like, you want Karn. You could cut the returns. I forget whether or not this version runs Emrakul. I want to say the answer is no. So, like, run it like this. We could keep the returns. We cut another 7 mana value spell into Chrysalis. I mean, it does sweep things like Glaring Fleshraker rather well, but I think this might be fine. On the draw for game 2, that is unfortunately a mulligan. This is looking promising. We can keep this. Want Forest, Sprawl for blue. You want to hold up the Dismember, so I think we pitched the Lab. And pass. Windswept Teeth, Fetch, Stomping Grounds, Shock, Stirrings. Well, the Stirrings find. K command, okay. Draw, Sprawl for blue, and pass. And pass. I'd love to find another green source, methinks. Eldrazi Ramp. Talisman. Lab. In that case, I'll play the Temple and pass. Unfortunately, this Sprawl is going to sit in our hand for a bit, methinks. We'll hold up the ability to respond. Do you have another Soul Land? If you do, you have a kicked Myco Spawn, but we can consign. Cavern Souls does make things a bit more complicated, admittedly. 3, Stone Rain. I'll float the blue and green. Well, now we desperately need a green source off the top. That is not that, I'll tell you what. Play the Lab and no Imprint pass. Was not expecting Stone Rain of all things in this matchup. Beseiju. Sowing Myco Spawn, kicked. Yep. Ghost Quarter. Honestly, Ghost Quarter would help me right now if you really want to hit it. Utopia Sprawl, we whiff. And they have a K command. Yikes. Combat for 3. No reason to concede just yet, but we're by no means in a good position. Big K command, hold up green. X equals 4. Yes. Make 4 spawns. On top, 3 bottom, Rumble. Whiffs on the Stone Rain, finds a Devourer. I imagine they take Devourer. Yep, they do, though I accidentally clicked off of that. Draw. Misty. Misty, Rainforest, Fetch. Well, I would like to go Breeding Pool. Actually, it's still right for me to go Breeding Pool here. Shock. Rumble. I think we need to go Forest. I would like the Karn, of course, but Forest is correct. And pass. And pass. Malevolent Rumble again. Whiffs on the Stirrings, grabs the Breaker. 1, 2, 3, so they should have enough for Breaker. Yep, Breaker hit. Breeding Pool. That's 3 down to 11. Draw. Verdant Catacombs. Boy. Verdant Catacombs. Fetch. Let's go Hedge Maze. Yes, Hedge Maze. Emrakul 8, 9 to Yard. Unfortunately, we don't have enough going for us right now. They could Ghost Quarter it, try and get rid of blue. The problem is right now at lethal damage next turn. So I'm going to need another blocker. This Dismember is dead. And that looks like another World Breaker. No, that looks like an Emrakul. Well, that is unfortunate. But it does give me 2 draws. The problem now, of course, being that how do I deal with an Emrakul? Oh, okay. That's not fine, but fine. That's right. I was pretty certain that they don't play Emrakul in this version. So this looks more like Eldrazi Ramp, not Mid. So this is definitely a loss for game 2. At least I'm fairly certain of that fact. Kick the Hedge Maze. No, kicks that, but Jukabog target me. I think Bajukabog not really necessary at this point. We need 2 more blockers. Unlikely to happen. We can't cast the Sowing Mycospawn, so we'll concede. Alrighty. Yeah, this thing is Eldrazi Mid. Looks like Eldrazi Ramp. So in that case, we'll change things up. Hey! Excuse me. And bring back in the Emrakul. Yeah, the pacing made me think it was mid-range, but no. It is definitely ramp given the Utopia Sprawls. On the play for game 3. It's a bit slow, no? But we do have the Consign. We have the Null Drifter dig a bit deeper. At the same time, they're running Stone Rain, right? And that does present some issues. I think I need to be a bit more aggressive here. I'm going to mulligan. Yes, this looks much better. The question then becomes, we pitch a Mycospawn or a Chrysalis. They kind of act very similar. I'm going to pitch a Chrysalis. Be able to go Wooded Foothills, fetch, Utopia Sprawl for red. And we need to find a 7-mana value spell off the top, ideally. So we'll go Forest, Sprawl for red, pass, and pass. Devour trigger. Yeah, this looks like a Chris MTG list if I had to wager a bet given the Devourers. We didn't see an Urgast, for example. Stomach Ground Shock. Stirrings. So a slower start here. We do definitely need to worry about a turn 2 Stone Rain. Ghost Quarter. Ghost Quarter also will slow things down, so we really would like to see a 7-mana value spell off the top. Chrysalis. In that case, we'll go Misty Rainforest and pass. There's Windswept Heath. So no Ghost Quarter, no Stone Rain. There's Rumble, however. It's a Rumble. I imagine it takes the Mycospawn. Takes the Cavernous Souls. End step. Fetch the Misty Rain. Hedge Maze. Trigger. Consign. Interesting. At most they have access to 5 mana next turn. I'll put the Consign on top. Play Ugin Lab. No imprint. Writhing Chris. And pass. And pass. We'll be able to play a Myco Spawn next turn regardless. 4 mana. Writhing Chris, Stone Rain. That's fine. Breeding Pool. So, in that case, only have 4. Go to combat. I'll take it. The question is whether or not we want to hold up the Consign. I think I do. If they had, for example, blocked, I might be more tempted not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll grab an E-Temp. Triggers. Breeding Pool, Shock, and pass. They have the Ghost Quarter. The thing is, they're playing pretty passively right now. Talisman resolves. There's Stone Rain. Yes, I'll float. Draw. Null Drifter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I do need to advance my board state. Null Drifter, Evoke. I'd like a land, please. We do find a land. Triggers Writhing Chris. Play Sanctum of Ugin, go to combat. 2 unknowns in hand. This will put them to 7. So they need blockers at some point soon. We'll pass. Unfortunately, even if I cast the Soin Myco Spawn, I can't hold up the Consign. Malevolent Rumble. Talisman. Myco Spawn? Myco Spawn. Not kick, though. Interesting. Grabs a temple. And passes. 1 unknown in hand. Verdant Catacombs. Okay, well this allows me to do what I need to do. So first, let's go to combat. You have to block at least 1. We'll trade and block. Interesting. Possible they might have a K command. They do not. Verdant Catacombs. Fetch. Stomping Ground Shock. Sowing Mycospawn, no kick. Lethal's back on board, and I will grab an Eldrazi Temple. And pass, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's an Emrakul. It is uncounterable, mind you. However, I can counter the trigger. Yes. Same target. And pass. Karn. Karn cannot deal with Emrakul, unfortunately. Last card in their hand is Devourer. And there's 13. I'm at 13 life, which is to be noted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will exile... what? We can exile the Eldrazi Temple. This does mean that they can't attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think we get rid of the temple then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The question becomes, do we sacrifice the Sanctum? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna say yes. This might be a bit unconventional, but I think I'm gonna grab a Writhing Chris. Because 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go Writhing Chris so we can actually grow our current Writhing Chris. Yeah, they can't attack right now. Malevolent Rumble? Did they draw into it? That would make the most sense for what they're currently tapping. Writhing Chrysalis may have been a mistake because they can Ghost Quarter my Stomping Grounds, actually. Shoot. Down to 7. Devourer. Ghost Quarters Stomping Ground. Yeah, I may have misplayed there. Yes. For a forest. Draw. Ugin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, shit. I can block 7 damage, but that's about it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I was thinking more around them hitting the temple in retrospect. I should have probably have hit the Ghost Quarter, because it would have let me get the Chrysalis, bump Chrysalis up to a 5/8, This one up to a 4/5. Still not big enough to kill the Emrakul, though. But big enough to survive the turn. But now we're dead, aren't we? Do I have an out? I don't think so. The alternative option would have been a Null Drifter, but I think in retrospect, the World Breaker hitting the Ghost Quarter was the right choice rather than the Temple. I still wouldn't have been able to attack is the problem. I'm just trying to think now if there's any out, but I don't believe so is the problem. Yeah, the multiple stone range just presented a significant issue. Taking out 2 or 4 mana worth of lands. Had I exiled the Ghost Core instead of the Temple, it would have at least allowed me another turn. Because 8, we mitigated 5. We would have had another land. Actually, no, we'd have had the same number of lands. We at least could have played Karn. What if Karn had -4 is the question. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I could have gone for coding. Coding would have worked, because then if they would have attacked in haphazardly and had no additional blockers, we could have then won off of coding Karn plus Karn for 8 damage, but I'm fairly certain they have Malevolent Rumble in hand. Shoot. Well, shit. Yeah, it would have been a bit of an unintuitive play in retrospect, but I think it would have been correct. Well, we'll pass. Not much we can do about it now. I'll pass. See if they at least show me the Malevolent Rumble to confirm my suspicions. Yeah, so I was right. So they would have had another blocker regardless, though they would have whiffed hard. The one blocker would have been enough, because then they can attack in of both. We would block the Emrakul with the Writhing Chris, block the Devour with the Sowing Mycospawn. Ancient Stirrings on top of which finds another Emrakul. They wouldn't have been able to play it, but they may have been able to find something else instead. Yeah, I mean, we lose here, one way or another. Damn. Block and block. Would have been left with a 4/5 Chrysalis and a Karn had they not attacked me. What would have been the next card? A Ghost Quarter? That would have done nothing. Yeah. So I'm not sure there would have been an out then. Because, yeah, like I said, all you would have had left would have been a 4/5 Chrysalis and a Karn on board. I guess the question obviously raises itself of, like, would they have viewed Karn as a threat if I had survived the turn? It's possible they may have turned Emrakul on Karn instead of on me, which may have given me one more turn. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 at most. No. We still would have been short then. Yeah. Even if they had turned on Karn rather than me. He would have been short. Because do we have an artifact in yard? No. I mean, that would have been like went from 1,000 IQ play to 2,000 IQ for me to think to myself, okay, well, we're not going to grab coding. We're instead going to grab a Tormod script to add another type to yard. I still think the coding would have been right, so we could have made a 4/4. Yeah. Alright, well, mistake was made. I didn't see the line. That would have at least given me another turn, but I don't think it would have resulted in the win regardless. We would have at least seen another turn. So, mistake was made regardless. We didn't take the right line to give us as many opportunities as possible. With that said, that there will be the end of round 4. We'll be back for round 5. Alright, and we're back for round 5 on the draw for game 1. I'll keep this. It's a bit awkward, but we'll keep it. We'll pass. Well, it does mulligan down to 6. Mountain, DRC, Bobble, so looking like Prowess. It's a slick shot into yard, Bobble target me. And draw. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. So I think I'll go Hedge Maze, trigger, Ugin top, and pass. Okay, so this should work out pretty well then. Shock Steam Vents for a Corey Steel Cut. EI. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, we should be able to play Talisman, right? Yes. Steam Vents. Well, I can't play that. Down to 19. Ugin Lab. Imprint. Cast Talisman number 1. Cast Talisman number 2. Sprawl. For red. Pass. 2, 4, 6, 8. Mountain. DRC. Fetch. So it's at least 3 damage coming in. We can Bajuka Bog. EI. 2 cards left in hand. There's Bobble. We'll play the Bobble, trigger the DRC. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll be able to play the Ugin the following turn. Alright. Let's see what we draw into. Bobble target me. Down to 15. And draw. Temple. Let's kick the Myco spawn. And it does mean that we are forced to use a talisman, admittedly. Kick Steam Vents, grab a Temple. Resolve. And cast Sowing Myco Spawn for Bajuka Bog. Bajuka Bog target you. And get Delirium off board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll be able to play the Ugin. exile something and gain 3 life. There's a Swift Spear. Attacking. Bolt, target spawn. Question of the day, do they have a mutagenic growth? I'll block the Swift Spear. Let's see if they do. They do not. Draw. Rumble. Trying to think here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rumble. Null Drifter, World Breaker. I'm gonna go Null Drift. Return Ugin to hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No reason to imprint. And one more. Ugin, exile. Ugin plus and draw. Emrakul. And pass no attacks in case they do have a hasty ground creature. We're up to 15, so they can deal. The question is, can they deal me 15 damage in 1 turn? There's a Swift Spear. Got to the Wooded Foothills, 2 left in hand. Shock and Esteem Vents, and EI triggers. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Scouting Tarn into yard. Lava Dart. No attacks with the Swift Spear. Why? To 12. Well, I guess they couldn't cast it. Makes sense. Gain life. Another K command. 1, 2. And this is mana neutral. And opponent's going to concede. Okay. So this is Prowess. Win for game 1, which is what we love to see. Let's sideboard for game 2. Bring in Trinisphere, EE, and that's it. Cut Karn and Ghost Quarter. Again, I could consider bringing in Jailer, because it would stop them from being able to cast things from exile with EI, as well as flashback the Lava Dart, right? But it'd be a decent ground blocker, so I'm not sure, but it's tempting. I think, though, for the most part, Trinisphere is probably what we're at, where we're at, right? So we want an early Trinisphere. I mean, that is an early Trinisphere, and we'll keep. We'll pass. Turn 2. And then we can follow up and exile whatever they have on board at that point. There's DRC. Bauble trigger. Keeps it on top. Crack Bauble. Target me. Tempted the Bajuka Bog then. Null Drifter. At least it ensures that they'll likely not get Delirium, right? So let's do that. Bajuka Bog, target you. So no Delirium, not just yet. I'll make you work for it at the very least. fetch with the Bloodstained Mire, Mountain, Swift Spear, Bobble, Trigger. If they hold up the blue, I do become concerned with a Consign to Memory. Bobble target me. I'd love for you to tap out right now. Doesn't look like they will, though. Shoot. So that means they have a Consign. We'll have to sacrifice this command. No, hold on. They tap out. Violent Urge. That is a lot of damage. That's 11, Jesus. Oh, first strike. Okay. How does Violent Urge read? 4 more card types. Oh, it's Delirium. But was after it resolved was the problem. Alright. Draw. Lab Imprint Breaker. We'll take 4 next turn, but we will Trinisphere. Pass. And pass. There's a land. Bolt. Down to 10. And then we take 5 down to 5. Let's see if we can stabilize. We'll exile DRC and make some spawns. Second K command is solid. So yes, we will exile DRC. Make a couple spawns. Done. I mean, we can also exile the Monastery Swift Spear if we want, but I would like to hold if possible so we can cast the Null Drifter. But if needed, we will. 3, there's another DRC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can block here. Block. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, of course. I mean, I think we might just go further and exile DRC again. And done. Because that way we can cast Ugin next turn, and that should put us into a winning position. One. Yes, so we will block. Draw. Can't cast Sowing Mycospawn. 1, 2, 3. Cash trigger. Hopefully you don't have Consign. And Bone scoops it up. Solid to a win against Prowess. We'll be back for round 6. Alright, and we're back for round 6 on the play for game 1. Let's take a look. That's a mulligan. That is not much better. Like, I don't want to go down to 5. We have, how many hits off top? 9? Not great. I want to keep 7 too, which makes this even more awkward. We'll mulligan one more time, hopefully. I'll keep this. And I want to go Forest, Sprawl, Pitch Return. Do we keep the Bog? I will drop the bog. We'll go sprawl on red. And I'll pass. Apparently opponent PWQZ also plays Eldrazi Ramp, and they are learning from my content, so thank you much for that. I do appreciate the support. We'll go Verdant Catacombs here. We'll pass and hold for K return. It's possible they're playing Ramp. It's also possible they're playing something else, though. Elegant Parlor would suggest something else. Could be Storm, which would be a bit concerning. Hopefully it is Energy, since we do have access to the K return. If it's Storm, we're going to need to find a 7-mana value spell. Let's see. Bloodstained Mire. Fetch. Mountain. Feels like Storm. There's Ral, but a pause on end step. We need to be able to fire off this K command. Exile Ral. Hedge Maze, trigger. Null Drifter, top. Perfect. Ugin's Lab, imprint, Null Drifter. The next question becomes what we do after. Because we could try and scry draw. I just need to honestly land into something off the top. 3, 4, 5, 6. We draw into a land, we can at least play the Drift. We can evoke it as well if needed. They have another mana reducer is the question. They have the Ral. So they have a ritual. They do have a ritual. Alright, time to see if they have impulse draws. If they don't flip the Ral and they don't win this turn, we can K return through the Ral. Another ritual. So they have another impulse draw. They do. Need them to hit lands. That is not lands. Yeah, looking a bit grim, unfortunately. Cast the Manamorphose. They lose the flip, draw a card. Ritual. Lose the flip. And then they Past in Flames. Yep. Shit. Well, that is unfortunate. I just need them to keep on losing the flip, but they win here, so they can flip Ral. But they do no longer have a mana reducer, which is relevant. Let's see what they find with Ral. Oh, right, exile. Ritual. Impulse. Finds another impulse draw and a Past in Flames. They should be playing this Artist Talent and I think leveling it up. Finds a Ruby Medallion. There's their mana reducer. They strike it rich. Wish. Manamorphose. Ritual. Ritual. They're only 2 off of winning. Yeah, I mean, if they have the Grape Shot in hand, they win here. Friends Resolve. Another Ritual. And Grape Shot for the win. Let's see it. Artist talent. Okay. Why would they not just fire off the grape shot then and there? There's the grape shot. One is confirmed, targeting me. Yes. I've had someone grape shot my spawn first just to be cheeky about it, and by sacrificing it loses a valid target, and I believe it does stop the storm trigger by result. But opponent has not done that here today. So Ruby Storm. Lost for game 1. I forget if we bring in... we cut Karn entirely in this matchup. I believe we do. Let me confirm, however. Yes, we do. Alright, let's move the sideboard for game 2. Jailer, Dismember, Trinisphere, and EE in. Cut, K return, Karn, Ghost Quarter, Gemstone, and run it back. I do wonder at times if maybe bringing Consign is right. You can also counter Ral triggers, you can counter Ruby Medallion when cast, as well as the Storm trigger. Though I feel like most times with the Storm trigger, if the Storm trigger's on the stack, even if you counter it, it doesn't matter. Rumble would allow us to dig deep. We'll keep this. I'll go... Verdant Catacombs, pass. And but a pause on end step. Fetch a Verdant Catacombs for a Hedge Maze. I'd love to see a Trinisphere. That's a Utopia Sprawl. I will... thinking putting that in the grave, because at least with Rumble we can get to a Jailer. Oh, there's Trinisphere, that's perfect. Imprint Breaker, Trinisphere, pass. Null Surveil. So we have at least one turn to find another lock piece. Sacred Foundry, tapped and pass. Draw. Talisman. Let's see then. I will Rumble. I mean, Writhing Chrysalis will be able to apply pressure to the board. Eldrazi Temple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, if we are able to cut them short on mana. Interesting. I think we do go Writhing Chris, though. Play Misty Rain and pass. Because we'll be able to play the Sanctum and the Writhing Chris, which will then allow us to ideally ramp into the World Break. So as long as they don't kill the Trinisphere, we should be in a good spot. Yeah, the Prismatic Ending is the question. You got something at least. Friends Resolve. There's a Brother's Hood end. So what I need now is a Soulish Jailer, or I need a Myco Spawn. K command. play Sanctum of Ugin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's scry draw looking for potential answers, shall we? Done. No jailer. And I could bottom all and try and find it. Yeah, I think I'll bottom all. Temple. Alright, I'll pass and hold up Dismember. So we'll end up Brotherhood End and hit the Trinosphere. We still have the Dismember for what it's worth. Yep, Trinosphere down. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so here's what we can do then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Return Worldbreaker to hand. I am going to cast Worldbreaker, exiling Elegant Parlor. I'm going to crack the Sanctum of Ugin and grab a Soulless Jailer. Cast Soulless Jailer, so now they can't Impulse Draw. Next turn we can Null Drifter if needed. Other options actually play Writhing Chrysalis and Null Drifter. But like I said, at least this stops impulse draws. Artist Talent will get around that though. So we do need to be mindful of that. There's Ruby Medallion. I wonder if maybe I should have played the Drifter first. Just because that way if they play the Medallion, then we could have World Breaked. Maybe. Tis a thought. So yeah, I probably could have sequenced that a little bit different. Like, yeah, we cut them short on a mana. Is that worth it, though? Versus holding up an answer to a Medallion if we get another turn? Well, I'm happy to see the Medallion, or not the Medallion, the Prismatic ending in Exile. Because they can't cast, they can cast another Medallion, though. Actually, no, they can't. Non-creature spell, right? So yeah, both of those are bricked unless they have another Brotherhood end. But that would also get rid of their Medallion. Metamorphose. Draws a card. White. They might have it. But they have the Prismatic ending in hand. Hooded Foothills. 3 cards in hand. Paying cost. Wish for. Could be another Brotherhood end, question mark? What do you wish for in this situation? I mean, it would have to be a Brotherhood end, right? Unless they brought it in. I guess they could grape shot it down. That actually is a thing they could do. Don't like that thought. We'd need a Bajuka Bog at that point. Fetches at the wooded foothill for a mountain. Two cards in hand. Empty the Warrens. I mean, that does create a significant board. So that's what, 14 goblins. You definitely sided out the K return, I'll tell you that. So how do we manage this? I mean, the first thing would be that we'd want to be able to Writhing Chris, I think. At the same time, I do want to Rumble. I don't sure if Rumble actually would do me any good here. Not when facing down 14 gobs. Like, we can block 3 and take 11 down to 7. Kill 2, leaving 12. Jeez. Not looking pretty. I'll pass. The Empty the Warrens actually might get them there is the problem. Plays an Arena of Glory. 2 cards left in hand, 2 left in exile, stranded from the Soulless Jailer. They can do one of two things. They can attack all in or just use this as a threat. I mean, attacking all in makes sense. Go to blocks. We block. We block. We block. Block. And block. That's 9 to 9. 4 damage. We sack. And we sack. And I pass. Down to 9. I'm gonna Null Drifter Evoke here. Actually, do I want to Null Drifter first or Rumble first? Let me Rumble first. And it's another Soulless Jailer at the very least, so we have another blocker. Not sure if that's worth it though. We don't have another land either. I think we grab the forest. We would have 5 blockers. Let's go Jailer. Evoke the Null Drifter. Do we evoke the Null Drifter or do I just play the Jailer? Again, they have 12 on board. We'll have 5 blockers. So I'll take 7 down to 2. Yeah, maybe I should have played or grabbed the land instead in retrospect. Yikes. I'm gonna evoke here. 4, 12, 8, 1. That's not what I need to see. Shit. Alright, we'll pass. Three cards in hand. So yeah, we're going to be down to 1. Unless they Arena of Glory haste a godforsaken Ral. Watch them win that way. That would be upsetting. Oh, if they do, that'd be brutal. Because I do have a potential win here if they attack all in. Oh, no shot. A Flage. Prismatic Ending. Which means they win. I can block 3 of the 12 and take 9. Shit. So by not playing the Jailer, it cost me. Yep, we block, we block, we block. That leaves 9. We sack, but it doesn't matter. Let's see what the top 3 would have looked like. Because we would have had 11 with the Writhing Chris. 1, 2, 3. I mean, just the 1 alone, if we had 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You would have needed to hit that land instead of the Jailer. If we hadn't grabbed the Jailer, then we would have lost. So if we just draw into the Emrakul, we'd have had 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1 short of Emrakul. In which case, we would have then null drifted to draw 2 more. But that wouldn't matter, would it? Well, I guess if we had played, instead of drifting, we would have played the Talisman, right? Or no? 1, 2... No, you've only played the Talisman if we had the other land, which we didn't. We would have had to play the Jailer. We'd be at 1. Would we have had an out? Like I said, I would have drawn into the... I guess we wouldn't even have the drawn into the Emrakul, because we wouldn't have seen Mycospawn Drifter, so we actually would have drawn... The next draw actually would have been the Mycospawn, right? That's right. In which case, yeah, we would have been really just SOL at that point. We'd have had a Jailer, cast a Mycospawn, and that would have left still 11 on board. Or sorry, 10 on board. With us at 2, no way out. Yeah, the Empty the Orange just cleared me. That is unfortunate. Well, sometimes win some, sometimes lose some. Unfortunately, did not work out in our favor. This does put me at a 4-2 record at the end of 6. So now it comes down to tiebreakers to see if I do make it into the top 8. So we'll either be back with a wrap-up or the quarterfinals. Be back shortly. All right, and we're back for the wrap-up. Unfortunately, our tiebreakers did us no favors and dropped us down to 13th. So, unfortunately, no top 8 for us, but overall, a pretty good showing. Our main losses were to Eldrazi Ramp and Ruby Storm, respectively. 2 wins against Prowess, which I'm very happy about. The addition of the third Trinisphere definitely helping out there. Obviously, Jeskai Ascendancy, both Trinisphere as well as Karn, very strong into that matchup. I'm trying to think about our losses specifically. Looking back, Prowess, I don't think there was going to be too much we could have done in game 1 against Prowess. Game 2, Eldrazi Ramp against Micro. I mean, we gambled on our top deck and it just did not work out for turn 2 Karn. Game 2 against our second Eldrazi Ramp opponent. I'm trying to think. I know that I had the suspicion that they were actually Eldrazi mid-range. I feel like I may have taken a bit of a slower hand, either that or a bit of a gamble. We had a lot of hits off the top, just we didn't see the ones we wanted to see. So can't do too much about that. And then the game 3 loss, I want to say that one was pretty close. It was just, oh, that's right. We made the misplay with the World Breaker where he didn't hit the Ghost Quarter. Not sure we could have done too much there, to be honest. So, yeah. I'm wondering if maybe... I'm trying to remember back with the amount of mana I had available. I'm trying to think if it was right to maybe go for Emrakul. No, we drew into the Emrakul, but we didn't have the right types or number of cards in yard. So we would have been short regardless. And they had enough blockers to ensure that we didn't win on the crackback. So unless I had like 2,000 IQ played, play Karn, and then grab Tormod's Crypt. I mean, maybe. If they had attacked the Karn rather than attacking me, that would have been a potential play. Another situation where like Bridge would have been nice, I suppose. But c'est la vie. I think in that situation, much rather have the Trinisphere than the Bridge. And then losses to Ruby Storm. I mean, they had the second Ral. They played the first one. We gate commanded it. They had the second one. They won. Game 2, I mean, it's a smart heads-up play by opponent to go for Empty the Warrens. We just didn't have enough in the way of blockers in order to stabilize and stave off, was it 14 or 12 different goblins? So, unfortunate stuff there. So, overall, I mean, I think we played well. I think the deck performed well. I'm overall happy with it, so I can't complain. With a 4-2 record at the end of 6, coming in top 16, so we got some decent prizing too. With that being said, that there will be the end of today's video. As always, if you guys did enjoy it, please do consider hitting the like button. Comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or any journal feedback. It is always appreciated. For as much as I hope that you all learn from me in both my success and failure, I hope I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you have reached this point in the video and haven't already, please do consider subscribing as we're getting closer and closer to our next goal of 1,000 subscribers, which at that point, I'll be able to start saving up towards a streaming PC so that way I can stream live over on Twitch. With that being said, folks, I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye!